Hey, this is Greg from October Mountain Products. Today we're going to be talking about our brand new Axis Sight Leveler and why it's so important to use it. So when we designed this Axis Sight Leveler, we designed it with the micro Versa-Cradle in mind. As you guys can see when you pick it up, it's a very beefy product, very really well made. And you'll see this slot here. The slot's going to go right into your Versa-Cradle, and it has a magnet on the bottom. The magnet actually holds it on really nicely, but what you could also do is tighten it right down into the Versa-Cradle just like that. So the reason why us target archers and hunters use this third axis tool is to make you more accurate on up and downhill shots. It's actually really important, and it's been a topic that's been floating around a lot recently. Basically, if the sight third axis is off plane, or if any of the axes are off plane, but mainly in this case the third axis, and you go to shoot a downhill or uphill shot, you're actually going to compensate the wrong way. So what that does is give you inconsistent left and right shots out at further distance or even in close, but primarily on a target, field range, 3D range, or especially while you're hunting, shooting an elevated tree stand shot down onto an animal. So we're going to walk through a few of the basics here, how to get started with the sight leveler, in correspondence with this micro tune Versa-Cradle. However, you can use this sight leveler without the cradle. It is just leaps and bounds better with the cradle, and you guys will see why in a few minutes. I've used every single one that I can think of, and the accessibility to the sight when using this Versa-Cradle and your vision to the levels, not only on the leveler but on the sight as well, is second to none. So you guys are going to definitely want to check this out and try it. So first things first, you're going to have to take whatever sight you have. It doesn't matter. So a regular hunting sight or a sight like this target sight here will mount directly onto the Axis Sight Leveler. So that there's two holes right in here to mount that onto. They're universal width, so they will work with either a hunting sight or a target sight. It does not matter, just like universal, just like a bow mount. So we'll get this all screwed on here. Really simple. This is an easy first step. Make sure they're nice and snug. And like I said, when you get this on and you see the visibility down to your levels, it is really awesome. One of my favorite things about this product. So then you'll just get your, whether you're using a hunting sight or a target sight, you'll just get that onto your mount. All right, so from here, what I like to do at this step is, let's say you were using your Versa-Cradle for your bow or something, and it's, laying down like this. Just get it set up right to the top so it's nice and flat. This part not as crucial because we have the levels here to guide us. So I'll get it to where it looks about flat, and I'll tighten this Versa-Cradle down. Now what I'll do is I'll look at these side levels and this back level. So I'm going to do the back level first, and I'm going to micro this level right into the middle. Really easy, and I like to get the level set, let it sit, and then I can fine tune it a little bit, let it sit, and just confirm that that is indeed right in the middle of the level here. Now the level I'm talking about is the one on the Axis Sight Leveler. This is getting me set up for success down the road here when I do my first, second, and third axis. Same thing up top here. This is going to be the pitch, if you want to call that. We can micro adjust that with the cradle. This is what's so awesome and really important, that you start off with this good base. And this is super tight, so it's not going anywhere. So just let it sit for a sec. It'll stop shaking, and then just confirm that that's dead center. So you got both levels here are set. And like I always go back and look, I'll always go back and look after the dust settles on the cradle. I'll always go back and look and make sure the bubbles are dead center, which right now it appears that they are. So these two levels here are good to go. So that's the step you take after you mount the sight. Get this thing level. Next, what you're going to want to do is set your first axis. So this is really important. There's no bubble on this sight to tell me if my first axis is correct, which is the bar here. Now this is really important for target sights, so pay attention to that. Your target sights typically will have 2 screws in the back here. Those screws are going to have an oblong hole, which allows the bar to move or shift, which is going to allow you to set your first axis. So you'll need a level. I use this Hamskea level to get that set up. So I'll just tighten it down on the sight bar here. Actually, I'm going to reverse it. Get it nice and snug on the sight bar. And then what you do from there on a target sight is take these screws in the back here. Just pop them. You want them to be a little snug, but not so loose to where it's flopping around. Enough so you can move the bar a little bit, because again, this is a really important step here, is to set that first axis. It'll set you up for success down the road when you're going to do the second and third axis adjustments. So just a little bit here, and now I can see these are level, and I'm going to move my sight bar here to be perfectly centered in correlation with the axis level. And we're not looking at this top level here, we're looking at this level right here. So then I'll snug them down. Make sure those are snug. You don't want them flopping around while you're trying to do second and third axis. Again, I let them sit. Make sure the levels are centered. Don't be afraid to go back and make them perfect. That's what this is for. So that's good to go now. What I'm going to do is check the sight's correlation now that the bar is level, the axis is level, the axis leveler is indeed still level. Now we can go ahead and use the scope's bubble to get the second axis set. Now this is something that all sights are going to have in a different spot, but it's this here is the plane going this way. So you got the sight bar, same plane as the sight bar. However, now we're doing it on the actual sight itself to get the scope bubble level with the sight bar. So pretty simple step. On this particular target sight, my holes are right in the front. And like I said before, when you have this hooked up with the Versa-Cradle, I can get right in line here and see every level right down the pipe. I can see everything. And I also have really, really good accessibility to my screws. So I'll get in here, loosen this one up a little bit, loosen that one up. I'll come back, make sure everything's still level, which it is, and I will set my second axis in correlation with these levels. Make sure that your sight bubble is in the middle. Snug these down here. Double check, it looks good, and then you're good to go. So that's setting your second axis. Now, a very important step here, setting your third axis. Like I said before, you have uphill, you have downhill shots. The third axis is going to be the plane of the sight going this way. So let's say that it's off. Let's say it's off a little bit, and you go to shoot a downhill shot. That off-plane third axis is going to make you correct the bubble the wrong way, causing left-right variation in your shots on up and downhill, respectively. So we want to fix that. We want to make sure everything's right down the middle, no matter what, up or downhill, straight ahead, does not matter. How we do that, how we achieve that, is taking your OMP micro tune and setting it down at a 45-degree angle. Make sure when you do this that you go back and look at this back level here. It just so happened that I got it to be dead center, but if not, you can use your micro adjust. It's not going to be off that much. Just get it back into center so everything's back to exactly the same as it was. So I'm going to take a peek down here. I'm going to take this level off here on the bottom. I'm going to take a peek now that I know my second axis is in correlation and level with my first axis with my sight bar, and I know this is level. I look down at my sight and I see that, oh, second axis is set, but when I tilt it down, my sight's off. Sights, higher end hunting sights and target sights have the ability to fix that, and you're fixing the plane going this way, which I mentioned before is really important for up and downhill shots. So this particular sight has the adjustments down here on the bottom, and I just loosen this one a tiny little bit, make it so it's still somewhat snug like I said before, but enough to move it. And I will adjust until my sight bubble is now dead center. And like I said before, I'll get it dead center. I'll go a little bit on the screws, snug it up, and it's still dead center. So now, what I always do when I'm done, that would complete your third axis leveling. It's simple, it's easily done when you have the correct tools and visibility. Sometimes with some of the other models that are out there, it's really hard to access all screws, especially when it has to be on a bench and the particular model has to be on a bench and the sight has to go out. It's really hard to access all those screws. What this does is, in my opinion, second to none with the accessibility that you have to your whole sight and the visibility that you have. So I bring it back. I will just get this leveled again. So what I'm looking at now, this is just a check. I'm looking at the axis leveler, making sure it's back in the middle here. Let it sit, get it centered. I look directly down to my second axis. That's still smack dab in the middle of the bubble. So what I'll do now is I'll ride it down here, loosen up the Versa-Cradle, ride it down, get my bubble centered on my axis level, and still, look at that, dead center on the third axis. So it doesn't matter if you're going uphill, it doesn't matter if you're going downhill. That third axis is set, all thanks to this sight leveler, making it super easy. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching our video on the Axis Sight Leveler. It's a new product that we're really excited for and excited to bring you guys some knowledge and know how to use this correctly and when to apply it. So this video is particular to using the Axis Sight Level on the October Mountain Products Versa-Cradle Micro Tune. For more information on products like this, please visit octobermountainproducts.com.